Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities Skylines, the 1 hour a day build in our city of Lifstrom, with me, your host and insane Mayor Zerberus. We are still working on the first part of the center of our city, but it's coming along nicely, so I'll just grab something to drink quick and let it run. Cheers. So, exactly now, IT high-rises should be coming in back here as well. That should just provide for even more jobs. That said, we are probably not going to be able to educate enough people for those jobs. We'll see. Because we're getting... Oh, high school availability is actually down. That's a bit surprising. Well, I mean, it's not excellent. We kind of did that on purpose, but it's not actually that bad. Could maybe do with another one in there, though. Because it does appear to be more a capacity issue than anything else. Yeah, you know what? We will drop one more high school in here. We'll improve that a little bit. In fact, we'll do 2. Because the other place where we're a little bit lacking is also over here, and so, you know what? We'll actually give them a second high school. That should really take care of our education needs for the most part. And right now we basically have to wait to see what sort of demand pops up next, or start tossing things in. That is what? That's all commercial, so that would actually be a semi-reasonable spot to put another train station. Although the train stations are actually, they're so close together that they could almost be metro stations. So we may not really want to do that quite that close. And over here, for example, that would definitely make sense, and maybe like another one over here-ish. Maybe like here, here, and maybe here, depending on how exactly we build up. So 69 with no workers, 10 with garbage complaints. What's our overall story on garbage? Processing is fine, landfill usage is fine, but we should probably, exactly. Water and sewage. So, pop out our umbrella. Boiler station, geothermal heating. Oh, that's, yeah. Because we went for heating and not for our good old umbrella corporation. I think we'll put them just right in here. Nestled along the offices. This is, for example, this is exactly Bayaz. This is one of the Steam workshop assets that I've been using. I just kind of figured it would kind of be cool to say like the Umbrella Corporation is taking care of our water supply, especially because it kind of makes for hilarious jokes every time I wind up accidentally poisoning us. Well, it doesn't matter. We've got the money. I really only wanted to have the pipe refunded, but Probably gonna have to turn this a little bit so that it looks right. Yeah, the move it mod is our friend. There, that works. Except for that tree in the middle of the road, so we'll just pull it straight over here, be done with it. It's just going to make hooking up the pipe a little bit harder because we have to go to the other side, otherwise it's too short. So, but then what we'll also do, we'll see if we can't drop an inland water treatment in here as well somewhere. Obviously not right next to the water pump. That would be a bad idea. Actually, we can get 2 of them in here, and that should be far enough away easily, yeah. So now all that should be running. Yeah. Running just fine. So what zoning did we destroy? Nothing. Nothing that's going to kill us. And now we should... Yeah, water and sewage are fine again. So what's the story on electricity? Minus 1.6 gigawatts for when the dam screws up each time. We should probably add some sort of additional electric power in here somewhere. If not here, then in the next section. Oh, and this is coming in nicely.
We all want to be sure that the people we leave behind don't think we're jerks. That's where fire insurance comes out. We provide peace of mind for when
Oh, but really, I'd just like for this to go faster. That's really what I'd like to see happen. But it is actually going reasonably fast already. Oh my god. What is happening here? Is this all traffic coming out from... No, it's not all coming out from the main city. Most of it's actually coming from here. And they're all trying to turn around. So what that means is that we would like to get them off here earlier. As many as possible. So how do we do that? We take this node and add a bridge. Not a bridge. A tunnel. Well, so much for that. Like I said, we add a bridge. But we don't want to actually reconnect until after that has happened. I don't care if that's already occupied, because that is really just a fine spot to connect to. What we do need to do, though, in that case is actually go up to 5 even quick, and then down to 4 here, so that we have proper turning on lanes here. So here we've got heavy traffic coming in. This, of course, now looks completely wonky. And set our turning lanes here so they can actually use it. They may not have even wanted to, but they just happened to be on it when we switched it. Yeah, but that kind of speaks for itself, the amount of people already using it. So that is definitely a good solution to the problem we had. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit for them to figure out how to work around this reasonably. And now we've got basically the same problem, actually just one node earlier. We'll have to let it run a little bit and see what happens. I think overall traffic still shouldn't be too bad, but yeah, that section is now causing a bit of a problem. Because this is just our most heavily used highway, simply because it also comes in here to the main city, where traffic is actually still flowing surprisingly well, despite this really totally horky solution. I mean, this was really the whole plan was like, okay, we'll just put this in and see what happens, and it'll probably fail miserably. But no, it's not really failing at all too much. Sometimes it gets a little bit janky in spots like this, so we may. Well, we can force one-way traffic on these as well. Basically just make them extensions of the roundabout. In fact, these roads are kind of pointless. Oh, maybe not completely. Somebody is actually using one. Okay. So much for that. Yeah, but I'm thinking if we may not want to turn all of these into one-way roads as well. Because the only access points are these, so. In fact, we'll turn this section into a reverse roundabout. Yeah. That's now we've figured this section out, I think. Obviously we can change it anytime. But the idea, we force them exactly, yeah. That way. Because that way, we don't even get any cross traffic here. They can just go straight out and turn around, and if they really want to go up here, then they'll just shoot up here. And all of a sudden, these lanes are no longer pointless. We'll see how that works. Again, we can always change it back to the way it was, so. And of course we got traffic lights again. What would we do without traffic lights that we never wanted? The game wouldn't have any more tricks to play on us. Yeah, but it seems to be flowing again. And actually flowing much better, more controlled than it used to be. We may, however, actually go with only 2 lanes off to allow for more traffic to go through. Although the amount of traffic going through isn't really that high, so it shouldn't be. There's no real reason for it to be. So it actually kind of makes sense to let them use all 3 lanes. And they're absolutely using them, so I mean... Some of them are a little bit stupid, though, and are switching lanes on these on-ramp bridges, which is, of course, bullshit. You can at least, if nothing else, pick your lane before, please. But it's getting heavy. It's getting heavy. Only 57 businesses without employees. Excellent. That's going up. Still have quite a bit of space where people can move into. That too is a non-issue. In fact, we'll add some more out here. In fact, we'll even add some low density residential or waterfront commercial. I think we will make a small waterfront commercial leisure area back in here. So it's not too steep over here, then we'll just come in like that. Gives us a bit more zoning anyway. So set our turning lanes here and here. And this will just be a little leisure district that actually won't start until about there. Yeah, that should work. Because leisure is actually louder, and I think tourism is too, than normal commercial. No, that'll be high density. Did we actually zone that as residential? That was then kind of stupid, wasn't it? Because then we can now we can actually go in and zone the entire thing as leisure down here without having too much of an adverse effect on our residential area. Add a little more of that, and then that should be quiet enough.
At the Forest Foundation, we care about 3 things.
Just have a little red light district on the water, basically.
That's why our goal is to give a birdhouse to every bird on Earth.
Add some walking paths, of course.
Ages ago. It's time we invited birds indoors with the rest
Not
of us.
everybody can afford to drive a taxi.
30 birdie to 30 to donate a bird bath to 30 birdies. You can either be part of the problem or you can be with us, the Forest Foundation.
Hey there, friends. Today I've been thinking about weather. That cozy feeling you get.
So, and that was actually badly zoned here.
Just blur together into the gentle drumming of the breeze. That's what we're all about here at the Deep Focus channel. But you know, sometimes
Hearing a lot of upgrading. That's good.
stay inside.
Number of no workers is also going down. We're up to 238,000. We are just puttering along just fine. The problem is just that the things that we do are just going to get bigger and bigger. Ergo, they're going to take more and more time to accomplish. See how loud this is, this area with the highway. You know what, we could actually consider putting more high density residential out here on the side. That could actually work. Over here is probably where it's going to be a problem. Oh, whoa, whoa, wait a sec. That's totally not going to work here at all. Because that's the gates to the city anyway. And actually, that's a good word. We need to install the gates to the city. One on each end. Oh, that's right, we have to copy the other one. Marquee, where is it? Copy. Is that straight? It looks like it. It's not quite in the first tiles though. There. That's where it needs to go. And it has no water. Electricity is of course a non-issue, right? Yeah. So now we have 2 gates to the city. These light up at night, look cool. Oh yeah, this looks pretty nice driving through it. Let's get it from a more down-to-earth perspective. Yeah, everybody in this town is certifiably insane, but that's a different topic. And again, on some of these roads, you have to be insane. Okay, yeah, but that works. And coming in, that's the way. I really want to see what it looks like. Nice suspension, dude. I think we may even make those two historic, because those are practically the first thing you see when you come in. Wow, yeah, this looks really. This is doing exactly what we want it to do. It's looking like a big, massive city. Because while it's really nice to have traffic that flows awesomely, I really hate it when the city just looks completely unrealistic as a result. And that's also part of the reason that I'd rather use like these big 6-lane roads and only actually need like 2 lanes at the most. And thank you for the follow, Cataluias Moltje. Welcome to the channel. So, what exactly were we looking at last? Traffic's back up to 80%. And we definitely still have some ungumming to do. There's just so many people here that want to come in here. Can we maybe get them off earlier? We've already taken them. No, but what we can do, something I didn't even think about. Did we not give them their own turn? Oh, wonderful. I thought we gave them their own turning off lane. No, we didn't. Okay. So we'll actually just force that specific lane choice just for coming on. And this lane will actually ban all traffic. And we will also remove the lane arrow, so anybody who gets into this lane is just a total dumbass that absolutely does not understand how this is supposed to work. Because by leaving that lane open for them to flow in, that should be should flow much better. Thank you. Believe it or not, we're actually just at the beginning. My initial population target was 500,000. Yeah, we're already at about half that. And actually a few days ago I got the idea that, well, you know, there's just so much space out here. And who says this has to be an ocean? So yeah, this is definitely going to go for quite a while still. Yeah, dying and going bankrupt, that's always an issue in the beginning. It happens to me actually basically every time I start a new city when I haven't played for a month or two. If you watch episode 1 of this series on YouTube, you'll realize, oh yeah, this guy's just as much of a dumbass as I am. Because yeah, well, actually, in that particular case, I just completely forgot to build 2 very important roads, so nobody could get in. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, basically, what the most important thing to do in the beginning is really to stabilize your income, and as soon as you've got stable income and you have a bit of money in the bank, then you basically can't really screw up too much anymore. That said, we did actually run into a situation where we killed the city, but that was a result of unlocking monuments. So we just reloaded the save game from the day before. And now this is also starting to gum up a little bit, although it's not actually that bad. And who did that? Or didn't do that, I should say. No, 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 I just want to switch that road. There, upgrade that. for half a second he had no routing, he instantly despawned. What a dumbass. Yeah, that's basically, as soon as you start building an industrial area, you're really often going to wind up having to build a residential area as the very next thing. This is all wrong. So... Oh yeah, and as soon as it clears up a little bit, they just filter out nicely. Wonderful. I mean, we started initially in this tile. This was set up completely differently. I mean, if you were to watch the first episode of this on YouTube, you would probably never in your wildest dreams imagine this thing becoming this big and actually still working this well. You'd probably say, oh yeah, this guy's gonna fail by like at the very, very latest episode 10. Exactly. This is basically our starting tile. We had this, and so we put some residential in here. We started drawing this in only mostly between these two roundabouts, and originally this was industry, and we had some commercial here, and then some residential over here. And then eventually we cut back all the residential, moved that over here, turned all of this into commercial. I have the 81 tiles mod installed. So as soon as you upgrade to Megalopolis, you can literally buy the entire map. This is admittedly a build that you wouldn't be able to do on a console for exactly that reason, because you do need the mods. We have the Move It mod, we have Traffic Manager mods, we actually have some assets off the Steam Workshop, like for example our train stations that we're using in here. The whole Umbrella Corporation water supply thing would never have become a thing if it weren't for these hydro plants. And yeah, every time we manage to poison our citizens because I do something stupid, then haha, wonderful, it's the Umbrella Corporation's fault, haha, wasn't me. Or here, for example, this was actually designed to look good and not actually be functional, but we actually do get cargo traffic on all 4 of these. So we just need to put in like some shipyard assets, hopefully ones that won't actually do anything, be like maybe park assets, and then we're gonna have, yeah, basically like a shipyard up in here. This is, in fact, we'll go to the zoning quick. This is all what's left of our initial industrial area. This is a bit of residential and commercial. There's a little sliver of residential nestled in here. This is our original main commercial zone. And this is all mixed residential and commercial. And of course, our what's the highest rank? Yeah, our top level university, prestigious. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. And the university and the match day traffic, that was actually part of the reason that we actually have something like a functioning train line. It wasn't really until then that I started actually thinking a little bit bigger picture about things like that. Oh yeah, that's right. And we have our what's it called again? In fact, how far are we into this? No. Okay, yeah, that should work. I think about 1/4 or so. Yeah, get out of the windows. Exactly, Fawn World is what we wanted to now take another look at, now that we have more things to put in there, like the spooky haunted house. Or the good old. We may actually wind up moving a lot of this over and spreading it out a little bit, Because I actually thought that some of these assets would be a little bit larger. Or I may just take a look on the Steam Workshop if we can't find something. We have rotating teacups already. We have the swinging boat. Did we add the bumper cars? No, we didn't add bumper cars, and bumper cars are very important. Gotta have bumper cars. Gotta have lots of bumper cars. No amusement park is worth paying and the entrance fee if it doesn't have bumper cars. That is like, no, that bumper cars. Hello, that's the original. I have a GTA problem and I need my fix solution. It's GTA pre-video games. That's what bumper cars are. So, what's the story on attractiveness? Yeah, easily enough to reach the next level. We're getting enough people coming into. I think. Seem to have stopped for a second there. Yeah, and the IT sector back here is coming in nicely. Guys from the Umbrella Corporation are a little bit pissed that they don't have a view of the highway anymore, but that's what you get. 53 businesses without workers. So I think we can actually go and finalize the office rows here. In fact, that's right, we're actually at the height of our second highway connection. Oh my god, this is coming in so fast. Seriously, we're already... Wow. Just wow. You know what? Exactly, we'll just... Offices there. Not here, though. We don't want to zone anything right next to the gates of the city. So, how do we want to play this? Because right now this highway is currently unused for the most part. As of this way up. In no small part also because we haven't done anything in here. Oh, that's right. That's going to be the main connection for this side as well. In fact, that's something we actually need to do, or at least consider, is how to connect this residential zone up to this highway. Well, actually, we don't need to. It's the residential zone over here is actually working surprisingly well. I don't think we actually need to hook this up to the highway because it's basically going to peter out pretty soon. Yeah, I think we'll actually just leave that. Yeah, once again getting a bit heavily used. Probably in no small part because of new zoning or people just moving in. Okay, so let's think of other things that we might want to do. I've considered the whole topic of an airport, and we're definitely going to have one, but I'm still a bit undecided as to whether we want to use one of the included ones or build our own. I mean, this area here, for example, this would actually kind of fit really nicely as an airport. Well, not the whole... Well, actually, yeah. If you really want to make a big airport, then you actually would need almost half of that or so. Let's see how big the included metropolitan airport is. It's under transport hubs. Well, that would actually also take, like, this area-ish. So actually we may want to just use this Maybe make it like a central feature of this area in some way. Because interestingly enough, I think that's actually the only place we can actually put it even. That's the only place we can put it without landscaping, so basically the game is telling us this is where your airport's going to be. I just have to think of which direction we want it orientated in. I think I'd like to see one runway going that way, and the other one going like maybe off that way. So yeah, and that actually even sets up the road connections, or are those... No, I think those are... We don't need the academic year reports anymore. We know we have a cool university. Let's just drop that in right there and see what happens. Other than it not having enough water. Because an airport will of course also then bring more tourists. And if we can reasonably connect that up to something. Exactly, those are the road connections and this is the helicopter connection. Yeah, that really is more or less where it would have to go to look reasonable. But as dumb as it sounds, it's just so small. No, I think we're going to... I think we may actually build our own. Oh, and now they don't have power because that line got cut. That's what I was talking about us maybe needing a little bit of supplementary power. No, they actually shouldn't have power problems. They get their power from the roads, and the roads are electric. We'll just drop one in here. Or two even. I think I see what's going on. The game is getting some sort of hiccup. That's why it's slowing down so much. And when it gets those hiccups, then it tends to screw our services over. That's I eventually realized that was the cause of why we had an issue every so often of not having power, not having water, despite there being absolutely fine lines right freaking there. So, yeah, again, that's as dumb as it sounds. That's really just a bug or something like that that causes hiccups. Yeah, the 81 tiles, when you think about it today, that absolutely makes sense. But you have to remember also this game is from 2015. If you would have run this... well, I have run this game on a PC from 2015, or actually 2012, and well, let's start over. My last PC was basically top of the line in 2012, so that's kind of the hardware that you would expect someone to have to run a game on in 2015, and that was actually an Athlon FX 8350 that was even overclocked to almost 5 gigahertz. And with 81 tiles, at just this amount of people, the game running at 1x speed was actually just an absolute crawl. Even running at 3x speed was a crawl. And if you just look at the hardware I have now, it's only a 3600, but we can actually still see a difference, even with this amount of population, between 1 times and 3 times speed. It's not a huge difference anymore, but it does make a small jump still. And so you have to kind of like see it from that aspect. If they would have released this game with the ability to buy all 81 tiles in 2015, anybody who wasn't running a server basically wouldn't have been able to play it, well, to what a gamer would consider completion. But if you only have 9 tiles, then yeah, you're kind of locked in. You're probably not going to get above 200,000, 300,000 people, and wonderful. Should still run on most normal computers. So, just like this should still run, but, oh well, it's actually not that bad anymore. Getting a bit of a problem here with them wanting to switch lanes. I'm considering, do we maybe want to pull them off just a little earlier? Question is, can we pull them off earlier without causing problems? Well, theoretically, we could take a lane off from in here. That might not be a bad idea. What time is it? Okay, I think 1/4 or so. That's basically when we're going to hit the next hour. Just so that this doesn't wind up being like a 2-hour monolith. That's actually the reason I usually completely end the Twitch client and restart everything when I start a new episode, because otherwise I just have no idea where exactly we are. Problem is, if we make it too close to that, then we're gonna get the horky-borky switching over here, and that's not gonna help us. What exactly happened there? That's not quite the way that's supposed to look. 1, that's too high. 2, that's too low. I mean, these are supposed to like still fit under there, right? Maybe that's the reason it's so slow. No, obviously it's not. But yeah, I mean, this roundabout, this caused us some grief the first time when we put it in anyway, so I mean, it's not too much of a surprise. I keep calling it a roundabout. It's a turbine, but it's still getting worker shortage issues, so we actually will still need more residential space, apparently. But what we're also going to do, we're going to let the day-night cycle run again. Because I would actually kind of like to see what this area over here looks like at night. And obviously that's not going to happen in the middle of the day. But I think at night this is just going to look really spectacular now. I mean, just even if you're just standing here on oh my god, yeah, you can you can totally see those completely separate from these, and they're, even though they're so much farther away, they actually visually appear to be the same height. So yeah, that's the huge city in the distance that we wanted. Well, not even that much in the distance. It's only in the distance if you live out here. The closer you get, the closer it is. And it's all just a facade of IT buildings. They don't even actually make anything. No, I'm kidding. They do actually produce goods. I'm not, in fact, that's something I could actually look at. What do they actually produce? I mean, I know they produce goods, but what are the bonuses or drawbacks, blah blah, of having an IT sector? Consumes 30% more electricity, generates 30% more tax revenue. Well, that sounds like a reasonably good deal. And they require 50% less workers, which right now is probably not bad. A building is on fire. The elementary school is on fire. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Hot discussions in class. Is that what happened? Are you trying to put this out with propane, or why is it still burning? Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Use your water. See, I told you. Not sure why the cops are there. Apparently this was an arson issue. But... oh, that was also hilarious. Yeah, in the first episodes, before we finally controlled the initial water flow, we actually had flooding problems on quite a few roads, and it was every so often it was hilarious. You'd sit there and you'd be looking at the traffic, and you'd get like this huge red line like here, and it'd be like, why just why? And then all of a sudden you realize there's like 2 flooded buildings, and there's half a dozen pumping trucks there trying to get rid of the water. It's like, okay. We now only really have, well, actually we never built more than this, but at this point this is almost like a vestigial building. We could probably turn it off and it wouldn't even matter anymore. Oh, turning off and wouldn't really matter anymore, and night, and yeah, you know what we need to do? We need to light up the Umbrella Corporation. Not pink, we want red. Let's actually change this ourselves. It's actually all too bright for these really to make a difference, isn't it? Yeah, it's not really. Oh well, we'll just leave it as unredded, or maybe we'll see if we can find like a red ground texture. But this is starting to look really nice. Let's just follow someone on their way in. On their way in, on their way in. Where is the way in? Where exactly are we? Ah! Because what's really nice is the way this 8-lane road is lit at night. That just really sells it. Not too stoked that we have Hot Dog Harold in front of us, but did you really just run over that kid on a bike? Are you kidding me? Let's see, amusement park off to the left. Yeah, that looked reasonably nice, huh? They're shooting off fireworks at the main gate, right? That's exactly what's going on, yeah. Yeah. Once we get the rest of the attractions in, we start tossing in like some trees and some stuff. I think this is also going to look really nice. No respect for the crosswalk? I'm not sure what exactly you mean. Welcome back, JP. Oh, the guy. Now I get it. The kid that we ran over. Yeah. Sometimes learning hurts. And once we get this up to max level, then we'll of course reduce our expenses a little bit by taking out the ad campaign and things like that. Might leave the night tours.
They are also composed of industrial plastics, polymers, and products. We also know what's in the car. It is more important than the car itself. And that's why it can also carry up to 300 kilograms.
I mean, again, when you really think about it, we're actually still just kind of like building the bare bones. Half of this stuff is still going to get beautified in some way, shape, or form, or possibly even torn out and completely replaced with something else. Oh, and I like the way this actually goes uphill. I didn't even notice that before. Despite having a huge problem putting this intersection in as a result of it going uphill like that, I never really noticed that it went uphill. That's kind of, what? Okay, yeah. Have I ever mentioned I'm a dumbass sometimes? So let's toss out our day-night cycle. Getting some commercial demand, but I don't think we're going to do much to satisfy that right now. Just going to leave that. And we may still want to add a new parking lot off here after all. See if we can do it this time without causing the amusement park to have 0 visitors afterwards. Yeah, it's just too big. Same problem. That one isn't. But we can extend this out a little bit. Create just a few more parking spaces. At this point, they're still turning around there, but that'll change real soon. That's a few spaces too many. And that's almost... You know what? We'll pull this back just a hair. Yeah. We'll leave that just like that. And just like that. Now, can we still put handicap parking on here somewhere? No, it's a little bit too tight for that. Well, actually, no, it's not. Actually, it is. Only really get like 1 or 2 more spots in here. That's actually a single spot. It's a little bit crooked, but there. They all trying to use this for parking now, or what? Is that what's going on? You know what? We are going to create more side gates. Disconnected power grids? Where? Everything should have power. That should be like absolutely not an issue. So, parks. That is legitimately too short. This next stretch is probably going to be hyper long. It works. The idea simply being that if they're going to use this as walking paths, well then we may as well get money for it. No, I don't think we're actually getting that many people in here that are using it as a walking path. This is just a relatively unused amusement park. Do we, you know what? We're gonna extend that road. We're gonna widen that. Well, it didn't really widen it in that per se, did it? All it did was really add trees. I know what we'll do. 1 in, 2 out. Well, you know what? No, we'll actually just leave it the way it is. I think it's actually working, believe it or not. It's really the crosswalks that bother me more than anything else. But we can get rid of those. Can't get rid of that one, or we shouldn't, but at least that way they're not crossing here. May add a pedestrian bridge sooner or later. The drop tower and the pendulum are our next wonderful new. Now they're getting bigger. Now they're getting to the size where you can actually say that's an attraction. And I think we'll just put the big roller coaster just right here in the middle. When we finally get it. Yeah, we still have enough entertainment value. Excellent, so we will get it. So that residential is more or less completely done. Not really much room for more there. Despite being gummy, this is still working surprisingly well. Much bigger issue is what it's causing out here. That said, when we finally put in a little bit more public transportation, then we should also start alleviating those problems. I'm still just totally surprised that this is working at all, much less this well. Because this was just really a total experiment in idiocy, but yeah, it just works. It's basically 2 roundabouts, and these. Oh, that's right. These all go that way. Yeah, that's right. And so this one goes that way. So these are kind of a reverse roundabout, whereas these are normal roundabouts. But yeah, it actually works just fine. Exactly, that's right. We actually need to think of how we are going to expand further. I think commercial and resident. Maybe some commercial here, maybe more offices here, and maybe residential here. It's amazing how small Fawn World is, despite how huge it looks when you get a little bit closer. In fact, where is our tree brush? Do we even... I think I have the forest brush installed, but it doesn't actually look like I have it installed, interestingly enough. Oh yeah, that works. We don't want redwoods in there, that's going a bit too far. Maybe... what's that? Sugar maple, that'll probably work nicely. If the game can even find room for any. Yeah. Starting to look a little bit better. We may just cordon off the outside completely with like a lighter row of trees. Or just put like some heavy bushes somewhere. But for now, we'll just leave that the way it is. Again, I think we're gonna have our big roller coaster. We may like move these. In fact, we'll move the bumper cars over there already, because I think our big coaster is gonna be like here-ish. What else do we unlock on that last? Oh, that's right. We also get a Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel, I think we'll have room for in the middle. Or we may actually go so far as to put it like over here or so. Yeah, you know, the drop tower can kind of go over here. And the Ferris wheel may be here and the coaster here. Yeah, that works. So anything else we need to worry about right now? I think power and everything was now finally doing fine again. Could do a little more sewage treatment, but nothing major. Waste transfer is also not really causing us any issues. In fact, you know what? That might be a good idea. Just make this like a little power and waste transfer area. That said, yeah, we'll definitely then have to have commercial to like about here. So if anything, we may actually want to rethink the idea of putting waste up there. Thinking we might be better suited having that down in here, especially with this residential area. Well, that said, they're actually kind of well sorted. Don't think we're going to get any major problems. We're now getting commercial and residential demand. 2% unemployment. And that's why. How many visitors? 11 visitors a week. Not too bad for what's basically nothing. Yeah, I think next episode we'll put in a new intersection in here. Maybe even already put one in here. And then just slowly continue to expand our main city. But for this episode, we are done because we are once again over time. So yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed what you've seen. As usual, if you have, please feel free to follow me on Twitch or like and subscribe on YouTube. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next episode. You've been great. I've been Zerb. Take care of yourself. Cheers.